What's up, guys? I'm Ugo from Automation Wiz. Welcome to the channel where we discuss everything chat marketing and chatbots. In today's video, we'll be showing you how to turn your Instagram engagement into leads through a free ebook offer. One of the fastest ways to both educate and build trust with your audience is by offering value. If you are a coach, selling an online course, or providing other digital products, one of the most trusted ways of providing your prospects with value is through the offer of an ebook or resource guide. For Shopify stores, this can be by offering discounts, coupons, which we'll cover in another video. All right, before we jump into building this out, let's take a look at what this would look like for your prospect. So this starts off with a story containing some information asking people to reply with the word ebook if they are interested in getting the full copy of the ebook. So the user goes ahead and replies with the word ebook, and when they send it, they're going to receive a DM immediately saying, well, awesome. Glad you're interested in our lifestyle organization ebook. And it's also trying to ask some qualifying questions before that ebook is sent. So starting with the name. So I'm going to provide a name and I'm going to call it Jane in this case. So send. It also asks for email address. So this is really critical that you capture either email address or phone number for any of your lead generation flows. So I'm just going to use a fake email address here and just say at wmail.com and send. And next up, an additional qualifying question. This question can be something that you're using to better qualify the prospect, see exactly what they're looking for. This will become really valuable when you are actually trying to, create a segment of users or create a segment of your prospects, I should say. So in this case, I'm just going to say work-life balance is the thing that I'm most interested in. And next up, you see that Jane is now offered an ebook, and just by clicking that button, she can then get access to the ebook as promised. So this is what we're going to be building out next. In addition to getting her ebook, on the other end, we can now see that Jane's information has been created in ManyChat. So if I go straight into contacts, I can see Jane's record right here. I can see her information, including when she did opt in. Some of the information we also captured, like the email address. We also captured some contact tags as she was filling out the information that we were asking for. So you have all that information here, and you can basically either subscribe Jane into a sequence, add her to a segment, or things like that. And we'll talk about these sort of things moving forward as well. All right, now to create this flow, we will be using ManyChat, which is one of the most robust chat marketing platforms out there. To sign up to ManyChat, go to manychat.com and you can go straight to the Get Started Free button. Once you click that, it will give you the option of adding one of your social media accounts. So currently you can add either Instagram, Facebook, WhatsApp, or Telegram. To add an Instagram account, all you need to do is to just go ahead and click on Instagram, and then you can continue by just going in and signing in with your Facebook. Now, your Facebook needs to be connected to your Instagram, so make sure that is already done before you actually go ahead and continue with Facebook. But because I have already installed Instagram on my ManyChat account, I don't need to do that. If you have any issues doing that, please let me know and I can help you figure it out. All right, so to get started on this, we need to go to automations, and under automation, we need to go to create new flow. ManyChat provides some really cool templates, but for this flow, we'll be building it from scratch. So we have to go ahead and click on Start from Scratch. We're going to give it a name. So in this case, we're just going to say IG ebook lead magnet. I can spell it correctly. So I just got to call it that name. So next we add a trigger. So a trigger can be a reply to an Instagram story, a reaction to a story, or a direct message to Instagram. But let's go ahead and just add a trigger here. You can see the various triggers are available. So you can do a keyword, you can do based on a comment or a story reply, which is basically the one that we need here. So we're just going to use this one. So this basically listens for a specific reply to a story. Now you can either use a specific story or you can do it for all stories. In our case, we're going to be using a specific story. So this was a story that we had created. So we're going to use this story. And what keywords are we going to be looking out for? So we're going to be looking out for ebook, which was what we told them to respond with. We can add various variations of this just in case. In the demo, you see that we use a different variation from what was actually suggested, but we want to make sure that this is foolproof. Okay. So once we're done with this, we want to go ahead and save this. This can only be enabled once we activate the flow. So we're going to come back to it at some point. So based on the trigger, we need a response. In our response, we want to acknowledge how the user arrived into this conversation. I like using emojis as well. So our strategy would be to collect some information in exchange for the ebook. So we can start off by using an emoji here to just say, you know, kind of raised hands to say hello. And we can say something like, awesome, glad you are interested in our lifestyle optimization ebook. Before I send the ebook across, I would like to ask a few questions. It's always great to ask some of these questions, and that's how you're going to capture your lead. So to do this, we're going to use a user input. A user input allows you to capture information from the user. So we're going to use this one to say something like, what should I call you? Please enter your name below. And it's always good to always provide as much instructions as possible. So I'm going to use a pointing down emoji to indicate that they need to respond with text. Now you can see when you add the user input element, you need to also highlight where you want whatever captured information to be stored. So that can be, in this case, it's a name, it's a first name. I want to store it as a first name, which is great. And I also want to make sure that this cannot be skipped. So I'm going to remove skipped from here. We don't have any validation on names, which hopefully they're typing the right name in there. Okay, so now we have this, which is looking good. Next up, we're going to add an additional step to collect the email. So again, we're going to add an Instagram DM. So we're going to do something like this. We're going to say thanks. And we want to add the name that we just captured. So we said first name. This is always really good because it personalizes the message right off the bat. So we say thanks, first name. what would be the best email address to send the guide. And again, because we're trying to capture information, we use the user input once again to say, reply with your email address below. Okay. And once again, we want to use our emoji just to make sure that the user knows exactly what they're supposed to do. This time around, we're going to save this as email. Because we want this saved as email, it automatically also opts in for the email based on the fact that this is an email. So we're getting an opt-in there, which is really great. So we can send more emails in the future to this person with this opt-in. Okay, so then there's a retry message if answer is incorrect. So if, for instance, someone has entered an email address that is incorrect, you can basically tell them to enter a correct email address. I like what they have here, which is really fine. I'm going to leave it like that, and I don't want this to be skipped, so I'm going to remove skipped from here. And next up, we're also going to try to collect some information from this user. Now, we're going to just try and collect information related to what they really want the most. And this is a good way to qualify your leads, get to understand a little bit about what they want. So we're going to start off by saying something like, thanks, thanks. And again, I want to reference their name. So I'm going to go back here and reference their first name. We can do something like, thanks. And I promise this is the final question. And then we say, what is your top priority? Now, this time around, we're trying to capture some information and we're going to be using quick replies. So quick replies are typically the best way to, capture responses real quickly without having people to enter inputs if they don't have to. So I'm giving like 3 options here, and based on each of those options, I want to add a tag indicating that that was the option that was selected by this particular user, so I can use that to retarget or provide them content related to that, or understand what exactly this particular individual is looking for. So I have 3 tags that I'm going to add. So I'm just going to add them. So the first one is work-life balance. So in here, I'm going to use the emoji for work-life balance. I'm just going to add it there. Work-life balance. Just going to add a space right here as well, just to make it look nice. And I want to add another option. This option is going to be something like time management. So I'm just going to use the emoji here, and I'm going to say time management. Next off, I'm going to add the final one. This one I'm going to call prioritization, right? So which of these are most important to this prospect? Prioritize. Okay. And so we have these 3 options here. Now, what do we do with these 3 options? Now, if they select work-life balance, we want to add a tag for this particular user. We want to add work-life balance as their selected tag. So to do that, we want to choose actions. And within actions, we want to say add a tag. So I already have this tag created, interested in work-life balance. So I'm just going to use it. If you don't have an existing tag, you can always create a new tag as well. Then I can do for time management something similar. So I'll go ahead and add a tag. I also have that for time management. And then finally, for the last one, prioritization, I also want to add a tag for that. And I can do something like interested in prioritization. So you can see all my 3 options allows me to capture a tag. Tags are really important to capture information about your prospects. It allows you to do really good segmentation, so you can target people with information that is relevant to them. You can, have conversations with them based on the relevance of their needs. So in this case, as a coach, I would say something like, okay, if this person is interested in work-life balance, then I should send them newsletter or articles that are related to work-life balance. Or when I have my session, my one-on-one with them, that is the area I need to really concentrate on. Okay, so once that is done, we will now want to send them the ebook finally. So we want to add another Instagram DM. And for this Instagram DM, we want to link all the actions to this particular DM. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that. So that regardless of which action you select, we're just sending you a DM anyways. We're just storing this information in the system for later use. It really doesn't have any impact on what we're doing with the message we're sending you. So we can go ahead and send out that message. Then I can say something like, click the button below to get access to the ebook. Now, I'm going to use a button in this instance because buttons allow you to open a website link. So I can do something like, we can use an emoji here as well. And we can do something like, we can use a book emoji, and we can say get guide or something like that, or get ebook. Let's use get ebook. Let's use get ebook. And then we want to make it open a website. Then we want to store the link to our book. We want to add it here. So we add the link to the book here. So I already had a generated link. You can add whatever link you have to your book, or if you have your book hosted on a different website or something like that, you just add that link here. And once I'm done with that, we can see that our flow is ready to go.